In March 2025, the international community was shaken by the news of the completion of the platform modification of the first early warning aircraft developed by the DPRK on its own. U.S. commercial satellites photographed an Il-76 transport aircraft carrying a giant radar fairing parked at Pyongyang's Suncheon Airport, with 3 sets of phased arrays distributed at 120 degrees forming a unique detection system within a triangular tapered structure, with a diameter of 8.2 meters on top. With the Chinese and Russian early warning aircraft disk radome is different. North Korea chose to install the array tilted 12 degrees. This design can not only compensate for the defect of the T or component power density is insufficient, but also to avoid South Korea's SAD System X-band radar-specific scanning angle. Behind the engineering level of ingenuity, exposed the North Korean military-industrial system, in the field of core components of the dilemma, its radar unit spacing than the Chinese Air Marshal 530% wider, resulting in the theoretical detection distance reduced to 380 kilometers, but by increasing the area of the array barely maintain the basic performance. The DPRK Air Force's technological breakthrough, at this moment, is essentially a passive choice, forced by the strategic imbalance on the peninsula. As the only air force in the world that still uses the MiG-17 as its mainstay, the generational gap in its equipment is striking. More than 300 second-generation aircraft rely on vacuum tube radar and voice communications, and 34 MiG-29Gs, despite a 2015 upgrade, have N019 radars with a detection range of less than 80 kilometers for fighter targets. In stark contrast, the ROK Air Force has a 3-dimensional attack and defense system, 4 E-737 AWACS planes, with Patriot 3 missiles form a double-layer interception network, 40 F-35, as rely on a PG-81 radar to achieve stealthy breakout, and even more lethal is the IA-18G electronic warfare aircraft deployed at the Gunsan base, which is capable of conducting a combat operation against North Korean radar from 300 kilometers away, 300 kilometers away from the radar of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, to implement the blinding, positioning, strike, kill chain operation. This technological gap is directly reflected in the readiness figures. The South Korean Air Force organizes an average of 1,200 close and reconnaissance sorties per year, while North Korean fighters have recorded only 17 effective interceptions in 2024 due to a lack of airspace guidance. The launch of the AWACS project marks the beginning of North Korea's construction of the underlying logic of information-based warfare. By connecting more than 30 MiG-29s to the data link network, the North Korean Army could theoretically establish an air defense identification zone with a radius of 150 kilometers around Pyongyang. South Korea's National Defense Research Institute's war game projections show that even if the AWACS only has a basic command function, it can also make the North Korean Army interception efficiency increased by 2.8 times. Especially for the F-5E fleet of ultra-low-altitude surprise tactics, the AWACS to provide an additional 20 seconds of early warning time is enough to organize the anti-aircraft artillery ladder interception. More strategically, it provides cover for ballistic missile forces. Satellite imagery shows that North Korea has built 12 new mobile missile launch positions in the mountains from Wonsan to Yangdeokgun since 2024, and the AWACS's aerial surveillance capability can significantly reduce the window of opportunity for enemy reconnaissance satellites to locate them. At the technological level, this early warning aircraft, known in the West as the Eye in the Sky 1, contains multinational technological DNA. Its tilted 3-sided array layout, and Israel's FAIRCOM, early warning radar structural similarity, but the array area increased by 35% to adapt to the low-frequency band mode of operation. NHL-6 display console arrangement with the Russian Il-114PP electronic warfare aircraft, while the belly of the knife-shaped electronic support measurement antenna and the Iranian Simorgh AWACS subsystems are highly similar. The most critical modification to the power supply system reveals the ability to integrate technology. The Il-76 2GT CP36 auxiliary power units have been replaced with 4 distributed generators, a modification that is strikingly similar to the approach used in China's Airborne Police 500 mid-cycle upgrade project. Moscow's Center for Strategic Studies reports that DPRK engineers may have obtained some of the drawings of the Ukrainian Vega radio consortium. which developed the thermal management system for the Soviet Union's A-50 AWACS aircraft, through technical intermediaries in the Black Sea region. The shortage of platforms has always been a constraint on the DPRK's AWACS ceiling. Of the 3 Il-76s in service, 2 have a life expectancy of more than 38 years, and the D-30KP engine overhaul interval has plummeted from the standard 1,500 hours to 300 hours. Worse still, the modification of a single AWACS aircraft takes up 24 months on the production line, during which time the platform loses its strategic transport capability altogether. In September 2024, South Korean intelligence discovered that North Korea's 11th Airborne Brigade had switched its maneuvers to using An-24 transport planes to deliver troops, which sidestepped the depletion of resources for large transport planes. In order to break through the bottleneck, the DPRK is trying 3 alternative paths, negotiating with Russia's 224 aviation repair plant for the introduction of a second-hand Il-76TD, transplanting the miniaturization of the frigate's phased array radar to the An-148 passenger aircraft platform, and even taking the risk of converting Air Koryo's Tu-204 civilian airliner. But these programs are faced with structural problems. An-148 fuselage vibration level exceeds the AWACS load standard 3 times, while the PS-90 engine used in Tu-204 is completely dependent on Russian technical support. History is full of subtle echoes. North Korea's current predicament is like a mirror image of China's Airborne Police 2000 development in 2002. The same constraints on the Il-76 platform shortages, the same encounter with the embargo on core components, and the same choice of 3-face array layout to break through the detection of blind spots. However, the 2 development trajectories will eventually go their separate ways. China's complete aviation industry chain, after 2012 to achieve the complete localization of the Air Alert 500, while North Korea has not been able to overcome the independent production of airborne computers. Its display and control system is still using a rigetized industrial PC architecture, rather than complying with the MIL-STD810G standard. Its display and control system is still based on a rigetized industrial PC architecture, rather than a MIL-STD810G compliant military mission computer. Russian military experts have assessed that the data processing capability of the Korean version of the AWACS is only 42% of that of the Air Marshal 2000. But its UHF band radar is still able to achieve a 17% probability of detecting a stealthy target under certain electromagnetic environments, which is of tactical value in guarding against the infiltration of the F-35A. The evolution of the international situation is reshaping the landscape of technological cooperation. 2024 The signing of the Russian-Korean Military Cooperation Agreement injected new variables into the modernization of the DPRK Air Force. The Beetle AIM radar upgrade kit provided by the Russian side can extend the detection range of the MiG-29 to 120 km. The Zuma-29 encrypted data link system enables real-time information interaction with early warning planes and, more critically, the personnel training system. The special training course for DPRK pilots at the Zhukovsky Air Force Academy, for the first time, includes a systematic air combat course. The DPRK's pilot training course at the Zhukovsky Air Force Academy is the first time that a course on systematic air warfare has been included in the syllabus. If these projects are fully implemented, the DPRK may be able to set up 1 AWACS plus 12 modern MiG-29 rapid reaction force in the airspace above Pyongyang to form a local air control. But the constraints are just as obvious. South Korea's electronic warfare unit has mastered the jamming mode of the Russian-made L-band communications protocol, while less than 3% of North Korea's munitions stockpile consists of precision-guided weapons, which make it difficult to carry out effective strikes even if a target is detected. Early warning aircraft are just the tip of the iceberg in this quiet technological race. North Korea's military-industrial system is showing surprisingly adaptive innovations, converting sonar arrays for submarines into ground-based passive radars, using railway maneuvers to increase the probability of survival of air defense systems, and even trying to graft military data links onto the 5G communications protocol. These asymmetric breakthroughs are difficult to reverse the overall generation gap, but enough to increase the cost threshold of military conflict on the peninsula. The South Korean military has accelerated the development of the KF-21 Block II type, the number of tier components of its active phased array radar increased from 919 to 1,200, aimed directly at the soft underbelly of the low refresh rate of the Korean Army's early warning aircraft. The Tactical Intelligence Exchange System, TIES, provided by the US to the ROK Army has completed its fourth upgrade, which can compress the data processing time of the 737 early warning aircraft to 2.7 seconds. From a strategic perspective, the birth of the DPRK's AWACS reveals the rule of survival of military innovation in medium-sized countries, fragmented innovation at the subsystem level, and the creation of tactical surprise opportunities through system integration. Although its radar takes 6 seconds to complete a full airspace scan and its multi-target tracking capability is capped at 48 batches, these shortcomings have been deliberately blurred in the DPRK's predetermined, limited defense scenario. Just like the tactical suddenness demonstrated in the Cheonan incident in 2010, the core value of the DPRK's new early warning system is to break the opponent's absolute control over technological transparency and to gain more bargaining chips for the area denial strategy. In the next 5 years, the skies of the peninsula will witness a more complex electromagnetic dark war, and this evolutionary experiment in air power is destined to leave a unique footnote in the history of military technology development in the 21st century.